now for sure. And I know a lot of people are, at least from what I'm seeing in the grocery stores, in the real estate market, the global economy, everything in general, people are panicking. And right now is a time to prepare and a time to plan, a time to keep it calm and a cool head. But at the end of the day, also not deny what's going on in the world right now, in the market right now, the uncertainty right now. And today I wanted to just jump on here and document this because I think this is a historic time in the world. For one, it's a historic time for people's careers and futures. And I think it's the time to have a discussion, and now more than ever, keep positive, keep optimistic, but also to equip yourself for what is going down. So I'm going to keep politics out of this because that's a whole nother conversation. But I think a lot of you guys who follow me and that I get to get connected with, whether you're listening through the Millionaire Mindcast each and every week or following on social media platforms, if you are watching this on YouTube, be sure to subscribe and stay connected. Drop a comment below if you're watching this on Instagram right now. I love all the hearts and all the positivity. That's what I'm talking about. I'm glad to be connected with you guys as well. So I wanted to go into 8 things that you can do differently in a recession. The guys came in today. We're still working in the office, but being smart, be responsible. Number one, let me just preface this. Health is number one. Hands down, health is the number one thing. The health of yourself, because if you can't take care of yourself and all the people who rely on you and your health isn't right, then of course that's a much bigger problem. But being responsible with how you are protecting your community, your customers. We need this world to continue, this wheel to keep rolling in the right direction. And so without our health, that is of course going to be the number one thing that crumbles everything. But when we're talking about recession, if you're paying attention to the markets that's going down right now, and what's going on with all of the sporting events and that really trickled down event from the state of emergency in our entire government, the financial markets, there's a trickle effect happening right now that's going to have some major implications moving forward. And that ultimately is going to lead us right into a recession. How big, we don't know. There's a lot of people speculating it could be bigger than what happened in 2008, similar to 2008, maybe not as bad. At the end of the day, we can control our mindset and we can control our actions. So I wanted to go over 8 things that you can do and to just keep this conversation rolling to equip and arm you, the entrepreneur, the small business owner, the intentional individual who's looking to use these as opportunities to not only survive, but to also thrive during these times. Money doesn't go away. It just transfers in opportunities and recessions like this. So I will preface, take care of your neighbor, be empathetic, be thoughtful, be purposeful, be disciplined, stay focused. Now more than ever is when you need to shift into that next gear because we're going to be tested. We're going to be tested, but this is also some exciting times to learn about us as a world, as a family, as human beings in general. So with that being said, number one right now, cash. Cash is extremely important. If you can consistently bring sales and drive value to your customers, most importantly, you need to find ways to continue to generate cash and revenue for your business moving forward. So focus on all things that have to do with income generating activities and or income protecting activities at this stage of the game. Yuli, can you see my comments on Facebook? Cool. So if you guys are tuning in and if I'm capping out a little bit too high, a little bit. Okay, cool. Drop a comment below. I want to continue this. I'm going to be doing more of these lives because I want this. I think now more than ever, we need to have consistent and frequent conversation to use what data and use what's going on in the landscape and the scene to make the best decisions, the next best decision for us, for our goals, for our business, for our employees, for our community, for our families, right? So right now, of course, focusing on cash is going to be extremely important. Number 2 is knowing your numbers financially to exercise every single day, a fitness discipline around your finances, and knowing what your break even monthly is in your business, so you know at least what nut you need to cover, knowing what your break even is on your personal finances, so you know what you need to cover each and every day, each and every week, each and every month. Really important right now. This is a time where you look around at all of the things that you're spending money on and go, where do I need to cut costs? Where do I need to cut expenses? Where do I need to lean up and thin out? Winter is coming, right? And so we need to be really smart about how and where we are spending our money from a business and a personal perspective. Don't shut the machine down, right? We don't want to put extra unnecessary stress on the system that doesn't need to be there, but be smart, be vigilant, be responsible with your money right now. Number 3 is to right size your business. So you might be carrying some costs or some inefficiencies that you might want to consider and look at right now, knowing that there may be some different things in the landscape coming ahead. Number 4 is going to be to renegotiate, using negotiating opportunities, as we're going to see stress across the market. And I'll just give you one example. I'm on the, what I believe, wrong side of this, and at the same time, I'm on the right side of this. As a landlord, we're going to see a lot of small business owners, a lot of people unable to potentially pay their mortgages or to pay their rent or to pay, right, their leases. And now is a time, depending on what side of the fence you fall on, to come together and use that to renegotiate, knowing that there's got to be a win-win in there for us all to survive through the times that are going to come ahead. So having consistent conversations with my business, that are inside my commercial strip centers, and working with them, if one of them move out and I have to do TIs again and nobody's going to be renting that space anyways, you might as well work with those individuals, right, to keep them in there, to protect your income, to protect your property. That's just one example. If you're on the other side of things, being open and getting in front of some of the financial stresses that you might have and having those conversations with the right people. Number 5 is going to be avoiding bad decisions, especially right now, right? Were you guys over at the grocery store the last few days and seeing how here, we got a mic here for the guys in the office as well, but what are you guys seeing in the grocery stores? And we'll get Tone's take on the markets here in a second.
So on Saturday morning, already having to have anticipated a lot of this, I decided that I wanted to go to Smart and Final to go just pick up some additional stuff that we normally have in the kitchen that we didn't have. And it was mayhem, dude. All the shelves were empty. I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody on social media has been seeing the pictures. Costco, all Rayleigh's, it does not matter.
The toilet paper memes are getting me though. I'm actually enjoying those.
Dude,
those are pretty damn funny.
it was insane. But once again, like I mentioned earlier, it's surreal, man. It's surreal. It's happening in our lifetime right now.
Yep.
It's everybody wants to comment and say that this is overhyped and everything, and it might be to an extent, but it's
sensationalized in some way, shape,
Correct.
or form.
Yeah.
Like the fact that we're picking up 4, 5, 6 times as much food as we normally would need. There's a silver lining in this one. We were talking about some positives from this, and in one of my mastermind groups, one of the topics was, hey, of all the negative shit that's going on, what are some of the positive things that are coming out of coronavirus? Obviously, taking a step back and looking at what's most important, spending time with your family, slowing down, passion projects, things like that. But one that I heard that I actually hadn't heard anybody talk about yet was the fact that we are getting to practice on a virus that isn't as lethal or deadly as it could be. The fact that we have the opportunity to kind of be exposed in a way that isn't like, if this was Ebola and it was a 50% death mortality ratio, we'd be fucked, right? Yeah. So the fact that we're getting to practice on a and again, I'm not downplaying the fact that it is something that's dangerous and lethal, but the fact that it's not as lethal and dangerous as it could be, we're kind of lucky, and yet we're seeing what we're seeing in the meltdown of society right now, what it feels like. Yeah. Tone, what are you seeing in the financial market?
In the financial market,
what you were trading this morning? Tell people what you do.
Yep. So I trade currencies, but lately with the S&P falling, as many of you probably know, I've been moving into S&P and gold. A lot of people think that S&P could be coming to the end of its drop, but I disagree with that. I think we're probably halfway there, if that. There's going to be a pretty big market fall with the S&P and DOW moving forward in the next few weeks for sure.
Yeah. So, a lot of people are panicking right now. The economy works in cycles as it is, right? I was watching a State of the Address this morning with Gary Keller, and he was talking about, hey, I've been talking about this shift for quite some time. We're going to be heading into a recession. We're in extra innings, like prepare. Yep. And when these things happen, they happen fast. They happen abruptly and sometimes at a shock. And this one happens to be, in my opinion, a black swan event. Like, there was a ton of different things that people could have pinpointed as being a catalyst for the recession, and nobody planned for coronavirus, right?
Yeah.
You can throw that
exactly.
Instagram live back this way.
And the one piece of advice that I'd give anyone that's looking to catch the bottom of the market is don't try chasing the bottom, because if you go against the trend, the market's going to wipe you out 99% of the time. Wait for everything to settle down. Obviously, do your own due diligence. Don't listen to only my advice, but wait for everything to settle down and then ride the trend back up. It's not going to shoot up like it dropped. It's going to gradually build back up to where it once was.
Yeah, for sure. So just avoid bad decisions right now. You look at the data, and like, Anthony was saying, just in general, it's hard to make strategic decisions when the chaos is happening, when you're in the eye of the tornado and all you see is the walls of the storm going on around you. Now is just more now than ever, calm heads prevail. Be responsible. Don't make any rash decisions yet until you have enough data to maybe make some more equipped decisions based on what your goals are. At least that's what I'm doing. Number 6, and this is one that I've heard a lot of people think about removing from their life, is now more than ever is the time to double down on education and community and the tools and resources that are going to equip you with the tools on the tool belt to actually not only, again, survive this thing, but to thrive through it and to come out on top of it. When you look at opportunities like this, which potentially are once in a lifetime opportunities, I heard a woman at the grocery store the other day, and she was maybe, I'm going to guess, in her early 70s. And she's like, never in my lifetime did I think I would see a health scare like this. And it was like, whether this is the most aggressive one or not, perception is reality, right? And so you see a lot of people really scared during these times. And now is the time to double down on putting more tools on your tool belt so you have more confidence to navigate what seems and feels like a very interesting landscape and terrain right now. So it's going to feel this way for a little while, but I think if you can consistently push into your community, your board of advisors, the people around you that may have been through this before, or the people around you that may have more tools or resources or tighter pulse on the market or industry that you're playing in, that's really important, because that's going to also, again, we grow into the conversations around us. That's also going to dictate how you respond and what you're thinking about and where you're putting your attention and your energy. So doubling down on your education right now, I think, especially during a recession, is going to be extremely important, because that's going to continue to equip you and give you the confidence to keep moving forward. Number 7 is a little bit more of a financial one, which is, as they tighten, I think they're going to definitely tighten the belt here moving forward on lending. And yes, they're dropping rates, but moving forward, I think they're going to be a little bit more stringent on who they give cash to. And if you have a good credit score, if you have a good cash position, if you have a good debt to income ratio, the more cash and finance you have available to you and at your fingertips, the better to capitalize on a lot of these opportunities that are going to come during this time of hardship. So I think right now is, if you can pay down debt, if you can find ways to boost your credit score, to increase your income, these are all going to be things that put you in a really good position to capitalize when you want cash on hand, because as opportunities come around, these are going to be opportunities that people have not prepared for until they see the opportunity. At that time, it's often too late. So be smart about that. And number 8 is also taking some time to invest. Invest not in the stock market right now. He's like, don't do it in the stock market right now. Let the dust settle there. But there's definitely going to be, obviously, through this reset, some opportunities that come. So pay attention to the companies that you really like. It's really interesting seeing Warren Buffett is looking really smart right now, sitting in 130 billion of cash. And what he loves to do is go in and buy underperforming businesses in times like this. He saw this coming. You see Apple sitting in so much cash. Like, these big boys and big girls are, you want to say something?
Gary V, this is exactly what he's been expecting for a minute. That's what he said, that his way on how he was going to buy the New York Jets was when the economy crashed, he was going to go in, buy out all these small businesses that are going to be struggling, and then build them back up, turn around and sell them, and start building his empire to get the New York Jets. This is literally his entire strategy on how he's going to accomplish that. And it looks like this market's going to be just that.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's one of those things I don't know how to feel. I'm like kind of torn in some ways because I'm sad, you know. I'm sad. Like, a good thing always has to come to an end. I know there's a lot of people that are going to get wiped out in this wake, in this ripple effect, in this aftermath, and I don't take that lightly because I'm team human, and you never want to see people you know, taking steps backwards. And yet I'm also excited because I know, one, there's going to be opportunities to help those people. There's going to be positive outcomes that happen from people like, you see the big money, you know, billionaires in the NBA right now coming together to, through solidarity and through unity, take care of all the employees, right? There's going to be more and more things like that that will be necessary and required, and also be given more light. But I also know there's going to be opportunity to capitalize on the hardship, capitalize on the downfalls, the distress, and somebody's going to take, of course, advantage of those opportunities. So now more than ever is the time to do it with integrity and ethics, and obviously do it the right way. But this is where people like you and I, who are being very intentional about trying to get in front of this, trying to plan, trying to prepare, trying to do the things that we feel are right and helping us achieve our goals, are going to see massive steps forward in your financial freedom, in your net worth, in your wealth building. And so I think now more than ever is a time to be very clear on what your investment criteria is. Know what your buy box is, know what your sell box is, know what kind of strategy you're going to be employing in the market, and stay as disciplined as you can and wait, because they're coming. The opportunities are coming. So those are some of the top 8 things that I'm thinking about as we go into this recession. And more importantly, I heard Gary Keller say this today, which I thought was just a really great point, which was, in times of uncertainty, the best way to predict outcomes is to take consistent action. By being in the game, you're going to give yourself an opportunity to be in the right conversations with the people that are taking action. You're going to be in the right opportunities to capitalize on those needles in a haystack that are going to be coming out more consistently. You're going to be able to connect with the people who are, really taking action, and expand your network of resources. And as long as you're taking action, as long as you're adding value, as long as you're staying in alignment with your core values and you're surrounding yourself with the right people, you're going to come out stronger during these times of uncertainty. So with that being said, if you guys have any questions, be sure to drop those in the comments section below. I've been neglecting my friends on Instagram over here a little bit. I should have probably had somebody reading those comments and questions, but I'm going to be putting out a lot more live content. This is just, I want to keep this dialogue going. I think this is an opportunity right now for people who are looking to bring positivity and optimism on ways to overcome the obstacles and create the outcomes that we desire, and to connect like minds and to act like leaders now more than ever is when we need it, especially when there's a lot of fear getting peddled and pushed around. And I'd be lying if I said I wasn't scared, right? Like, are you guys scared? Like, legitimately? Yeah. Like, there, of course, there are things that cross your mind of, am I going to be able to make payroll or pay my bills or keep my lights on? Or what if this happens and then that happens and then this happens? But all we can control is consistently moving forward, and I think having the right conversations on a daily basis. So if you guys want to keep having those conversations with us, subscribe to the YouTube channel, listen to the Millionaire Mindcast each and every week. We got my man, Mr. Breedwell, who's very, very dialed in and connected to the markets. And making sure that, he's keeping a pulse on this and bringing you guys that information on how it can impact and help your wealth plan and the actions you're taking in the market or in real estate. We're going to be keeping this conversation very frequent moving forward. So keep dropping some love. I think now more than ever, we need unity, solidarity. We need to support each other. We need to come together. We need to check our ego and our differences and all the shit at the door that really could cloud making the right choices and cloud moving forward in the right ways. But it's going to be a wild year. So strap in. The political impacts of what's going to go down this year are very, very important. Of course, what's going on in the economy. What other things are you paying attention to in the market?
What has Grant Cardone been saying? A lot of these, you got to follow the money. Follow where the money's going.
Always follow where the money is going.
Wherever the money is being completely flooded to, think of it as a domino effect to where it's collapsing. For sure. And then that, because people are trying to get the last of that.
Yeah, I'm paying attention to, go ahead, Tone, what you were going to say, but I'm paying attention to, well, here's one, and we can save this for another episode or live, which was Carl Icahn is talking about the debt market in commercial real estate. That could have an impact and a trickle-down effect in the commercial world. Obviously, paying attention to what the Fed's doing on rates, paying attention to what the central bank is doing, watching, of course, the markets. What are you paying attention to?
Yeah, you could just keep an eye on the news every time, say, Trump releases a campaign on the coronavirus. Obviously, if it gets worse, the market's going to drop more. If they start containing it and the coronavirus gets better, then the market's going to go up. That's the only thing conflicting the market right now.
What I've probably had like 10 or 12 people message me this morning saying in the next 48 to 72 hours, they're thinking it's going to be a total lockdown and shutdown. No more domestic flights and traveling. We're not going to be able to leave maybe the stores. It's like, man, like I guess you want to be prepared, but people are straight up losing their shit right now.
That was something I saw on social media, so I'm not sure how true
it's got to be true then.
But there was some act that is moving into play. So if it happens, there's potential for us to be completely quarantined, which is kind of scary. That kind of goes into what Matt was saying earlier. And I feel like there's a lot of people who are really scared of not being able to go to work and sitting at home. And the one thing you could do with that situation is make something good out of it. Like, learn a new trade, start like an online business, figure something out where when you aren't quarantined anymore, you're 10 steps ahead of where you started out at.
Yep.
Rather than starting out with nothing before you went in there.
I totally agree. I'll answer a couple questions that are coming in, at least over here. Do you think it's a great time to refinance? Absolutely. I mean, this is, of course, as cheap as money is going to be probably in most of our lifetimes. At least I hope that's the case. We don't want to see, with the Fed dropping it to zero today. Obviously, we'll see banks start lending at even cheaper rates probably in the next couple weeks. So that's something to pay attention to. And here's the thing, though, is going back to them tightening the belt. This last week with what happened in the market. So I was starting to refi 2 of my properties. One is one of my commercial strip centers, and the guy was going to get me my terms and kind of lock in my rate. And he was like, dude, we had shit shut down over here. Like, I couldn't even get you a hard commitment on a rate because of what happened in the market this last week. So it's going to be interesting to see, how the banks respond to all this and what they do. But at the end of the day, if you can get cheap money right now to buy or to refinance, you're not going to get any better. So I would at least try and initiate that process, because to answer your question, Rita, is we don't know what they're going to do moving forward, but we do know what we're going to do or what we can take advantage of right now. And if you can't refinance, they're going to tell you exactly what they want to see. So at least you're either going to get it pushed through, or you're going to know what steps or how you need to position yourself moving forward. And that's all you can do right now is, I think, continue to equip yourself with necessary, I think it's just equip yourself with the necessary resources and information to make the decision that you're looking to make. Schools definitely have closed here. Are schools closed nationwide?
No, not
No,
nationwide,
but most big cities. I know here in Northern California, my daughter's school is closed in most of the counties. All Southern California. I know DC. I know a lot of big markets. So crazy stuff going on right now. But with that being said, now's the time again to protect what goes in your mind. Be more aware of what actions you're taking and the people that you're surrounding yourself with. So with that being said, you guys have a good rest of your week. We'll probably be doing some more lives this upcoming week. And if you got any questions for me, hit me up on all my social media platforms. Are all the same. Official Matty A, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Let's keep this conversation rolling. Be safe out there. Wash your hands. Take that time to spend with your loved ones and dig in. Now's the time to get into that next gear. March on, my friends. Peace.